different around Bournemouth, and I did want to ask you. Dominic Szoboszlai didn't sort of do anything to calm the storm down or the suspicion around Milos Kerkez, the photo afterwards. Semenyo's been linked. I know there's been recent rumours with, I think it's Huijsen, their other centre-halves pronounced. Do you think, and I know people maybe link it because Richard Hughes used to be there and there's been a few stories around that. Do you think Liverpool might have some interest in a few Bournemouth players this summer?
Yeah, I don't doubt that they're kind of keeping an eye on them. I know Kerkez in particular is a player that they like, but whether that, I still think the left-back market, if that price gets a little bit high, then they can, they'll feel that they can find someone elsewhere for less who can do that job. So I wouldn't kind of nail my colours to the mast and say he's 100% the left-back that Liverpool will go for. We'll just have to kind of see how that one plays out. And in terms of the others, it's all about what opportunities kind of open up in the squad. I think going into next summer, it's kind of underrated that, as much as left back, I think will be a clear priority, and one of those two will move on. I think Tsimikas is a possibility to go next summer. This squad is very much in a position where it's got to be kind of one in, one out. You can't say that Liverpool are going to do X, Y, and Z until they kind of move some players out to create some space, because they've got, the show in this season, they've got enough. In a squad that doesn't get beset by one of the worst injury crises you've ever seen, like last season. They've got strength all over the park and real depth, and to the point that some players just really aren't getting minutes at all. So, they're not really short there. So, in terms of whether they want a centre-half, does Virgil van Dijk sign up? If so, you're okay with 4 centre-halves. Then it's about, okay, well, does Joe Gomez leave because he wants some minutes? That's the big question there. Then do they look at Huijsen and maybe think, okay, does he want to come to be that fourth player at fourth centre-half because or third centre-half? So if he leapfrogs Quansah, will he get enough minutes when he's playing every week at Bournemouth? These are the kind of questions you've got to ask around this. Semenyo, Liverpool have got 6 forwards. Do they need another winger who wants to play on the left-hand side? Not unless someone comes in for Diaz. So there's a lot, a long way to go to that window. And I think more kind of questions around it. I think anybody who's promising an absolutely massive window at this point, it so much rides on players going out for me. And I know, again, people will say, well, why can't we go into this next summer with this big promise of spending? But, I don't, surely everyone can see, you've got 6 forwards, you've got 5, 6 midfielders, you've got 4 centre-halves, 2 right-backs, 2 left-backs. You probably do need to operate in a 1 in, 1 out scenario. And there's every chance, by the way, that 1 in, 1 out scenario does lead to a big summer, because there's a few with question marks over them. But in terms of who they target to fill those roles, it's a lot of that is up in the air, and wouldn't want to make any big promises about it. So you just have to kind of see how that plays out, and that's very much how the recruitment staff have got to approach it as well.
Yeah, it is a tough one, especially when we still don't know about fully the contracts around the 3 stars. So there's still that question to answer. And I suppose the final thing for this window, because I can see people put in, Dan's on loan to Sunderland. I mean, there seems to be 3 that there's question marks or developments around, I should say. So Jaden Danns looks bound for Sunderland, Cade Gordon for Portsmouth, and it looks like James McConnell will stay. So I just want to sort of break those up. I mean, Danns especially, I know you're a big fan of his. Do you think this is a good move for him?
Yeah, I think a really, really good move. Going to a side that's, we knew that a championship loan was likely if he was to go out. But there was links to Plymouth, weren't there, in the summer? And I think he, a team that would have been struggling, he wouldn't have had an opportunity to score many goals. That maybe wouldn't have been the best for him in the end. So glad he's ended up somewhere like Sunderland, somewhere, a team that's in the promotion push. Speak to someone at Sunderland as well. And obviously they've got Isidore, haven't they, who plays up front, but there's a chance to kind of be cover for him, and also occasionally would like to go front too as well. So for him to be in part of that. So I think there's going to be a lot of minutes for him there at a club that will be good at developing young players in a team that plays good attacking football. So an opportunity to get used to kind of being pushed around a little bit as well and bullied by championship defenders. That's going to be really, really good for him. So I'm really excited about this move. I'm really excited to see how he gets on. I really, really hope he flourishes. And if he can help Sunderland get promotion, that would be a big bonus for everyone, really.
Yeah, more game time, and there doesn't seem any minutes available in that attacking line. And we'll talk about who's back as well. But One that maybe surprises people, I don't know. It's still kind of, I'm struggling to get my head around it in the sense of where's he going to get his minutes. It's great that Arne Slot clearly rates James McConnell, but is there a bit of you thinking, well, where's he going to get his minutes in this setup?
Yeah, so I totally agree with that stance, really. I think it is, I think the best thing for the player as an individual would have been to head out on loan and play some games at a high level. So it's a little bit of a shame that Liverpool are keeping hold of him. But I do expect he's going to start this FA Cup game that's coming up, be in and around the squad in the League Cup as well, and maybe in some Premier League games as well. I think that's how it's been kind of sold to him. So hopefully there are a few minutes for him coming up, but I don't think it will be the same for his development as a move out on loan. So that is a shame. I think the expectation is he's going to get a loan in the summer, by the way. That's very much the thinking here. So it's just kind of stick around and we'll get you a really good loan for next season and then, go out and show us what you can do and see if you can fight your way into this Liverpool squad. So that is the plan for him. But yeah, I just hope he gets enough minutes by sticking around to justify them keeping hold of him. I think it's just a kind of little worry on Liverpool's side about, could we just use an extra midfielder who's got that kind of skill set? We've spoke about, Endo not really being that kind of passer. He's more of a destroyer that you would use to see out games if they feel like they can use McConnell in certain games when the squad gets a bit stretched. The manager obviously thinks he can. But as I say, I think it's kind of a small shame for him on an individual basis. But I also think maybe there will be some value to him sticking around for both a collective and an individual basis. So we just hope we see that. But as I say, I think as well, I think we'll see him on the team sheet for the Plymouth game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will be interesting to see if he gets more minutes from there, but maybe a bit like Trey Ione, Slot just thinks keeping them around, having them in the squad, getting used to things may aid their development long term. And about McConnell, he started the PSV game ahead of someone that I reckon must be scratching their head now, Tyler Morton. I mean, it just seems to have been, he's got such talent, technical ability, but it's been a bit of a disaster for him personally and his lack of minutes. And now if McConnell seems ahead of him in the pecking order, surely you'd think Tyler Morton is trying to get a move in the window.
Yeah, I'm really, really surprised that he hasn't really, because as soon as he didn't get his move over the summer, I thought that his kind of people would be doing everything they could to line him a move up, really, to go in January, because it's clear he wasn't kept around in the summer to play games. It was just because he couldn't get that move sorted. So I wonder whether it's, January wasn't seen as the right time by certain clubs to make the move for him, and they're going to kind of keep the powder dry to the summer. Still expect he will depart at that point. But it's a shame for him, really, because I think he's a really good footballer who can play at a high level. Maybe not Liverpool's level at the moment, but he can play at a really high level. So I just hope once the summer comes around that a move is lined up for him and it's a good one, because I think he's shown in the rare moments he's played for Liverpool that he is a really, really smart footballer and a good one. So I would like to see him get a good move, and I think that will be the case when the summer comes around.
Yeah, it might have to wait for the summer, because I can see people putting comments in about the window getting excited. Lapulga says it looks like City will get Gonzalez, but 15 points behind doesn't make too much a difference. And a few saying that Tell is now going on loan. Evan Ferguson there to West Ham. So hotting up around everywhere else. But I think Vinny O'Connell will have too much work at Liverpool tonight, unfortunately for him. But I want to come back to the positives, David, more than anything, because off the field as well. I mean, I know you asked the question at the press conference about certain people like Danns and McConnell, and there was talk about who's returning. Curtis Jones didn't even get a mention at that press conference, but lo and behold, he comes off the bench, gets a good assist for Mo Salah. Jota's back. Chiesa's left out the squad completely because of tiredness. Joe Gomez not raced. It does feel like, in terms of availability, it is just night and day from last season, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is at this point last season. It was absolutely crazy. Never known anything like it. So, and I've constantly I wrote this a long, long time ago that I thought there's 5 to 10 points available for Liverpool by just simply having better availability this season. It really does have an effect on the amount of points you can accrue. And I think we're just seeing it now. I think this is exactly what's happening, is that Liverpool have got a fully fit squad and they are doing slightly better than they did last season for that reason. So it's absolutely massive, the influence it has on things. And for me, it was the only reason Liverpool didn't get over the line last season, was that the injuries just eventually caught up with them. So it's fantastic really to be able to go to the manager and have no injury or team news updates. And I guess in Curtis Jones's case, the fact that he didn't even get a mention and then he sneaks back into the squad and ends up playing a big role in the win. So they're doing really, really well in terms of fitness. So, hats off to the medical staff, hats off to the manager for how he's dealing with the players and the workload as well. It's really, really helpful. And it's particularly helpful this season as well, because yet again, Liverpool are pushing on four fronts. And if you can keep a good injury record doing that, then it gives you a much, much bigger chance of getting over the line in all four competitions.